Welcome back. Welcome back. Your man Dante in here, of course. Dante in the morning on the all new radioonfire.com. Here on the program, we deliver the biggest political and trending news stories of the day with original reporting from across the country, emanating from our studios in Baltimore and Atlanta. Show us fun, show us upbeat, but I also want to expose what is really happening in this country. Radio on Fire is Black voices giving you the American story. So, as far as the mask mandate, all right, very confusing information that has been put out to the people. Some people are wearing the mask, some people are not wearing the mask. Initially, CDC was telling people that were vaccinated that they did indeed need to wear the mask in certain situations, right? Then they turn around and say something completely contradicting that. So of course, that's leading to a lot of confusion. What do they want? They don't know. They don't know what they want. They're just throwing things out there, and it is causing confusion. So as it relates to that confusion, let's talk about it. People confuse whether or not to wear masks. The CDC, it seems they're changing by the minute. Inconsistencies. So when you talk about wearing the mask, if you are vaccinated, that's what I'm referring to. If you're vaccinated, should you be wearing a mask? So they'll say many things. It depends on where you live, depends on where you're going, depends on who you're going to be around. So you have this thing that they're clearly going to be relying on that I don't like, and it's called the honor system. Okay? The honor system. Because you don't know who's vaccinated, who's not vaccinated. You got to take people's words for it, right? That's called the honor system. Are you trusting whatever people are saying? And then the other thing that is really mind-boggling is that when you make these recommendations, you put people in stores, the workers in the stores, in an awkward position. Why do I say that? They're in an awkward position because now they become the vaccination police. Now they have to enforce these inconsistent recommendations that are being made. Let's take Baltimore, for instance. In Baltimore City, the mayor, Brandon Scott, says that the mask mandate is going to remain in effect. Mask mandate is going to remain in effect. And on surface, you may say, okay, mask mandates remaining in effect. Okay, no big issue there, right? And I guess I tend to agree. They want the mask mandate to remain in effect until at least 65% of the adults have received at least one dose of the COVID vaccine. So in Baltimore City, face masks still being required, indoors and outdoors, ticket events like concerts and stadium events. All right. People gotten used to that. So, okay. So the city's mask order applies to anyone over the age of 5. So 5 years and older, you need to have on a mask. Everyone must wear a mask in Baltimore, public transportation, inside a church, at an office. You do not need to be worn outdoors or obviously at a pool. Okay? When you enter a business, use public transportation, or pick up your children from school, the health commissioner said you should be wearing a mask. All right. The mayor said that 33% of the city's residents are fully vaccinated. and he's pushing people to get vaccinated. Okay, so on the surface, okay, well, that's what it's been. Fine. Now this comes after he made this proclamation yesterday. This comes after the CDC updated their guidelines last week, Thursday, saying that people who are fully vaccinated don't need to wear a mask indoors or out. And to further add confusion as it relates to Baltimore, the governor of Maryland, Baltimore's in Maryland, the governor of Maryland has lifted the indoor mask mandate as of Saturday. So in Baltimore City, they're saying you got to wear a mask. In the state of Maryland, they're saying you don't have to wear a mask if you're vaccinated. And then I've told you how I feel about Governor Larry Hogan of Maryland. But yesterday, while he was touring some renovations at BWI Thurgood Marshall Airport, he was asked about the mayor's decision to not lift Baltimore City's indoor mask mandate yet. And he says it doesn't make sense to him. I think that the mayor might have the authority to do that. Then he says, I know I saw him at the Preakness and another event Thursday night, both indoors, and neither time with a mask. So if he's not going to do it, he probably shouldn't tell other people to do it. You see the messiness? The messiness. But if what he's saying is true, and I don't know whether it's true or not, but if it is true, definitely some questions. So Baltimore City lifted some rules on Saturday in order to align with the state, but saying that they lifted some rules, I mean, it's either the same or it's not. Capacity restrictions were lifted for businesses indoors and out, including restaurants. But this is for the people that this is a big deal for, right? I'm completely comfortable wearing my mask. I'm fine with wearing a mask. I'm still going to be wearing a mask. But some people need consistency here. It's a little confusing, the county versus the city. So in Baltimore County is one thing, Baltimore City, it's something else. So you live in the county, you come to the city to shop, now you're confused. Now you're confused. Many people have heard about the mandates, and many people have become accustomed to it. I'm just going to continue to wear it myself for safety. I don't think you need to go in no store and get in no fights or nothing like that. Ricky Schroeder, this is the little kid. Well, he's not a little kid anymore, but he was on the show called Silver Spoons way back in the day. For your old folks, he gets in some shouting match and Costco's, and he's like a wild Trump supporter anyway. So many conservatives, they weren't trying to wear a mask anyway. So it took 4.5 months to get at least one dose to 42% of city adults. City adults would not give. City adults themselves is not the whole population, obviously 42%. City officials are not going to give a specific timeline how long it would take to reach the 65% benchmark. But they did say that the process is quicker. The supply of vaccines have improved dramatically. So they're trying to encourage people to get vaccinated. They're trying to encourage more people to get vaccinated. But I just feel that they need a better strategy. Keyword strategy. They're just getting information, just throwing it out there. No plan. She was just, and I'm talking about, White House officials, health officials were just saying that you needed to keep the mask on, and they turn right back around. There's no kind of finesse here with the sharing of information. And when you talk about schools, whatever's going to happen in the fall, there's got to be some changes for that. It's going to throw it out there. Oh, is this, and we need some finesse here. There needs to be a sense of order. People have to feel like, people have to feel like, what's going on. Maryland's COVID-19 positivity rate has fallen to the lowest levels on record. Lowest levels on record in Maryland. That is a good thing. Now, that doesn't mean that we can just take our guards down, though, completely. I mean, cautiously. But you still got these variants floating around. This thing can get real crazy real quick. So we need to be nimble and able to pivot at a moment's notice. Each and every one of these milestones is to the credit of Marylanders, Governor Hogan said, especially those who have stepped up to get the vaccine. He said in a news release that went out today. Together, we can make sure no arm is left behind and finally bring this pandemic to an end. No arm is left behind. I really don't like this guy. I really don't like this guy. Like, not even a little bit. Shout out to the homie Fishbone. What's going on, man? Diamond K in the morning. If you're just tuning in, all new radioonfire.com. Of course, Radio on Fire is where you go to keep updated news, culture, and of course, the hottest music. The data from Tuesday, today, showed that 3,011,639 Marylanders have received their first dose of the COVID-19 vaccine. 3,011,639. 2,375,714 of them have gotten a second dose, and 215,992 have received the single dose. So at 66.6%, the state is outpacing the national rate for vaccinating adults, and is well on track to meet President Biden's goal of vaccinating at least 70% of adults by July 4th. That's what the goal is. Independence Day, they're trying to have 70% of the adults vaccinated. So when you talk about seniors in Maryland, 87% of Maryland's seniors have received a vaccine. So we talk about hospitalizations. COVID-19 in Maryland have dropped below 600 to 596. Down more than half over last month. So metrics look good. Metrics look pretty good. The state's rate of cases per 100,000 fell to 6.21. Lowest since almost a year ago, since July. So numbers are moving in the directions that they need to move in. That is a good thing. That is a good thing. Just tuning in, Diamond K in the morning, on the all new radioonfire.com. Of course, on social media at the Diamond K Show, at Radio on Fire. And, I understand that people are feeling better about things because that's what the mainstream media is telling you. And we're looking at the numbers and it seems like things are getting better. I just don't want us to have a situation like India, right? I don't want us to be caught thinking everything's fine and then something comes in and it comes back and back with a vengeance. They said that these vaccines could be good for 6 months, could be good for a year. So everybody's time of the effectiveness of the vaccine could wear off at different points in time. What about that? There's so many things that we don't know. And if you ask one of the health foes, they're gonna say, we don't know the answers to that. Right? I'm just not ready yet. I'm not ready yet. I'm still watching because they don't know. They're changing major recommendations daily. Just daily. Tuesday, they said one thing. Thursday, they said something completely different from what they said on Tuesday. And then they want us to trust them at every step of the way. Remember, what happened to trust but verify? If you can't verify what he's saying. They're just saying stuff. Still learning. I understand that. Still learning it. And I want us to operate like they're still learning. You got to do what's best for you. So if you take the vaccine, fine. If you don't take the vaccine, like no vaccine shaming either way. If somebody took the vaccine or they didn't take the vaccine. Me, myself, I'm wearing my mask just because that's what feels good for me. I know that I haven't had a flu or a cold since this whole thing has gone down. And I attribute that from me kind of staying away from people and wearing a mask. Because I normally get a cold every year. Normally get a cold every year. Not this year, though. I mean, since this whole COVID-19 thing has gone down. Look at some comments here. Khalid says, how many new cases open now versus the same of last year? And let me see that. When you say that, when you're talking about COVID-19 numbers, this year versus last year, I mean, obviously things look better overall than he did last year. This time last year. As far as confirmed coronavirus cases in Baltimore, it depends on how you look at it. So we talk about Baltimore City. You're talking about Baltimore County. Some differences. So let's look at Baltimore County. So confirmed coronavirus cases in Baltimore County are 65,015. As of yesterday, confirmed cases in the state of Maryland, 456,216 cases. So there's still a lot of virus out there. It's still going around. It's not gone anywhere. I don't want vaccinated people to feel like this has been eradicated. Like I see people out there celebrating like they won some kind of prize or something. And this virus has not been eradicated by no stretch of the imagination. No stretch of the imagination. CDC still advises doing the following to stop the spread of this virus. Wash your hands often with soap and water, at least 20 seconds. Hand sanitizer, if this is not available. 60% alcohol. Clean and disinfect frequently touched items, objects, surfaces. Keep 6 feet space between people. Stay home when you're sick. This is an important thing. People don't always do this. Stay home when you're sick. I got to get in. I don't have no time, or, it's not that bad, or I'm going to no, stay home when you're sick. Cover your cough or sneeze with a tissue. Then throw the tissue in the trash. And, of course, wash your hands after that. So many simple things. So many simple things and basic things. Just basic stuff. Dante in the morning, allnewradioonfire.com. We're talking about the confusion. The confusion between what you should be doing with regards to mask mandates. If you're vaccinated, what should you be doing? How should you be rolling out here in these streets? Everybody clearly not on the same page as the relaxed mask guidelines for fully vaccinated folks leads to confusion in many people. I talked about the fact that Baltimore City and the state of Maryland have different mandates with regards to things. People confused on whether or not to wear a mask. What we need to bring Future out here? Mask on, mask off. What's really good? CDC said last week, people who are fully vaccinated do not need to wear a mask in most settings. Sometimes you can go in one store, you need a mask. Another, if you're vaccinated, another store you don't. And so then you're supposed to just assume that everybody who doesn't have a mask on is vaccinated. I don't trust none of these. I don't trust none of this. I'm wearing my mask. I was wearing my mask anyway. So CDC has relaxed guidelines. People confused. Several businesses have ditched their mask policies. And like I said, everyone's not on the same page. There's always really going to be confusion about this. In Georgia, only 30% of Georgians are fully vaccinated, according to the Department of Public Health. 30%. There's already people that aren't wearing masks. There is a mixed message there. Talk about in Georgia. But I mean, if you want to keep it real, you want to be honest here, Georgia's guidelines have been relaxed since the beginning of the pandemic. When the pandemic started, I was in Atlanta. And I'm in a grocery store. Well, I was going to a grocery store. Someone called me like, yo, you want to get some toilet paper? It's running out. And I'm like, what? Toilet paper running out? You toilet paper ain't running out. And I go to the Publix. Yeah, it is crazy. Toilet paper. I mean, it was like they were acting like a snowstorm was coming. So I was in Georgia in the beginning of the pandemic. And so things got to a crazy point as far as people purchasing, and then things just kind of just smoothed out from the standpoint of this. They weren't really mandating things like that. Georgia didn't really take it too serious. The government. City of Atlanta may be, ready for the restrictions to be loosened, because they haven't been following them anyway. The overall sentiment in Georgia is just, the guidelines are for everybody else. The guidelines for everybody else. And Florida's been loose too. Florida's been really loose. When you look at the videos, look on social media, Florida has been loose. So a lot of these guideline updates, people just looking like, okay, this is what we've been doing. Just tuning in, Dante in the morning on the allnewradioonfire.com. Are you vaccinated? Are you leaving your mask on? Or are you taking your mask off? At the Dante Show, at Radio on Fire. Of course, advertise, engage, promote. Visit radioonfire.com/advertise. New episodes of the program drop Monday through Friday, 8 a.m., and we rebroadcast them throughout the day. I don't want you to miss any of our live broadcasts, though. In addition to our 8 a.m. program, we drop content, as I said, throughout the day as news happens. Hit that notification bell so you get an alert whenever we go live. Dante in the Morning is available on the WRF Radio app. Simply download WRF Radio in your app store. Leave me a comment. Also, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, wherever you get podcasts. YouTube.com/DJ Diamond K. You can scroll your timeline Attend a Zoom meeting on mute, send an email, all while listening to the program. Get breaking news, adult conversations covering topics that are important to Black culture. Visit radioonfire.com for our original radio, podcasts, and TV programs. So we talked about the masks. We talked about, things opening back up. The AFRAM for folks in Baltimore set to return as a week-long hybrid celebration. Last year, it was canceled due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The AFRAM will return in some capacity in what is being called a week-long hybrid experience. Digital and limited in-person activities will be available in various locations throughout the city. So this is going to be different, something that we have not quite seen before. And so the Baltimore City Recreations and Parks Executive Director, Reginald Moore, said in a statement, "We are so happy to bring AFRAM back to Baltimore this summer." So AFRAM is returning, having to sit out the 2020 festival due to COVID-19 restrictions gave our agency time to reflect and strategize on how to bring the city a safe but memorable festival experience for 2021. While this year's festival won't bring 100,000 people to the park, we believe that in the spirit of the AFRAM, it will still be felt. So this is interesting. What the AFRAM means to the city. It is major. This will be the 44th year AFRAM takes place. One of the largest African American cultural festivals on the East Coast. That's major. And it's been a summer staple in Baltimore. How many of you remember going to the AFRAM? How many of you remember that? Big deal. But this is COVID-19, post COVID-19, whatever, however you want to word it. But the AFRAM Festival is coming back. One of my favorite Baltimore traditions. One of my favorite. So the mayor says that he commends Director Moore for the tremendous work to ensure Baltimoreans can still enjoy the experience. And the mayor says that he looks forward to tuning in with all of you for this year's festivities. The week-long events, plural, begins August the 15th with the main festival taking place virtually August 21st and August 22nd. So we're definitely going to keep you posted on that, what happens there. I think that you're going to see a lot of things move in that type of direction. Kind of a semi-digital, limited capacity type of thing. And who knows, if this works out, they may do this going forward. Take a break and we'll be back. Cicadas. People have been talking about it. You might not hear them yet, but you will very soon. The cicadas are emerging in Maryland. They started showing up in greater numbers over the weekend. Baltimore City and Baltimore County. I've had conversations where people talking about, you seen a cicada yet? No. And some people saying that they have. It's like an old unwelcome friend coming back. I want to see him actually. I do. I mean, just girls probably don't like him, but think me and my dog are gonna have fun with some of these cicadas. People around the area, like I said, are spotting them, increased numbers, crawling on trees and shedding their skin and all that kind of stuff. It is going to be something that you're going to see, and they're going to be everywhere. I mean, it's nature, right? What are you going to do? There's nothing you can really do about it. But the cicadas are all about romance. They're trying to hook up. This is how the males are going to court the females and try to convince that special cicada that she should be the mother of his nymphs. It's dogs are going to be eating cicadas. Just so you know, if your dog is not old enough to have seen them before, they're going to be eating them. It's that part's pretty nasty, but that is something that's going to happen. Not too much that can be done about that. Welcome back. RadioOnFire.com, Dante McKay in the morning, the all-new RadioOnFire.com. 2 Maryland sheriff's deputies were shot and wounded yesterday while trying to serve a warrant for a probation violation on an assault charge. Always hate to see something like that happen. Charles County Sheriff Office spokeswoman Diane Richardson told the Associated Press that the deputies responded to a call at 3:30 p.m. from a home in Waldorf about a man who the caller identified as a family member wanted out of the house. Additional deputies were dispatched to the home, Richardson says, but there were concerns about the man's mental condition and the danger that he might pose. They said that he was experiencing a mental health episode, citing the caller. Family member let deputies inside the home. As they began going upstairs, the suspect came out of the room and opened fire. 2 deputies were shot multiple times, but managed to get out of the house and were flown to a hospital for treatment of serious injuries that did not appear to be life-threatening. She also said that it wasn't known if the deputies returned fire. Come on now. You don't know if the deputies returned fire? Well, I wasn't there, but I'm going to tell you, the deputies returned fire. She also said she didn't know how many deputies entered the home. Don't have a lot of answers, huh? I can answer all these questions. 2 officers were injured and are said to be in stable conditions. And the officers conveniently were not wearing body cameras. Just tuning in, Dante McKay in the morning on the all-new RadioFire.com. Seems like we're always talking about situations where officers are not doing something that they're supposed to be doing. But we definitely hope for a speedy recovery for the officers. I mean, I don't understand why everybody else got to follow the rules. Everybody else has to follow the rules, but police officers, it's just whatever they want to do is just all good. All good. Former police officer charged in Dante Wright's shooting gets a trial date. The disgraced ex-police officer Kim Potter's mugshot was released last month after she was formally charged with second-degree manslaughter for the shooting death of Dante Wright, as she should. Now a judge has set a trial date for the ex-cop. She has been on the force so long. She was training somebody. 26 years, she's been a cop. The trial will begin reportedly as early as December after the ruling by the judge. The manslaughter charge finds her facing a maximum of up to 10 years, which I don't think she's going to get. The district court judge said this: I think it's to the benefit of everyone to try to expedite this case and try to come to a resolution or trial as quickly as reasonably possible. Despite the situation, Potter's not facing any murder charges at the moment. The ex-cop's trial is set to begin December the 6th, 2021. Disgraced. She is disgraceful. Only facing 10 years. Only facing 10 years. I guess that's how it goes. Just tuning in, Dante in the morning, all new radio on fire.com. Man. Bill Gates has just been they've been throwing dude under the bus. I don't know whether it's his soon-to-be ex-wife's team bringing up some of this information or what's happening, but he's just been thrown under the bus as of late. Thrown under the bus. Bill Gates. Tiny and T.I. under investigation in L.A. for drugging and sexual assault. According to reports, an investigation into the couple focused on the accusations of an accuser who says that she was assaulted in 2005. The woman spoke with police virtually last month, and police say an investigation is active. Tyrone Blackburn, an attorney that's representing the woman and dozens of other accusers, claimed that the hip-hop couple subjected the alleged victims to drugging, kidnapping, rape, sex trafficking, and intimidation. T.I. and Tiny's attorney told local Atlanta Fox affiliate that they were still awaiting for the accusers to reveal themselves publicly. Wow. I mean, I wish that these things are not true. I hope these things are not true. But we're going to have to see. We're just going to have to see. Where there's smoke, there is fire. I don't know what happened as far as who these folks pissed off. But their world is just coming crashing down. Man. A CVS employee in Long Island, New York, was arrested after cops found 62 fake COVID-19 vaccination cards that were taken from the pharmacy. So you see what's happening here, selling them on the streets. 21-year-old was arrested after the police, who were looking for drug offenders, saw the man sitting in his car with the engine running. Police noted that they searched his car and found controlled substances as well as numerous vaccination cards that were stolen. Suspect told the police he took the cards from CVS and that he sold some to students. Along with that, he planned on giving the rest to family and friends. Idiot. He's facing multiple charges that include larceny, criminal possession of a weapon, criminal possession of a controlled substance, possession of a forged instrument, and other charges. A real brainiac here. Real credit to his family. News of this comes after a California man we talked about last week was arrested for allegedly selling fake vaccination cards. Y'all need to stop this, fam. This is not what you want to do. This is not the charge. You don't want any charges, but this is ridiculous. You think you're gonna get away with this? Ridiculous. That's your boy. That's your boy. Idiots. In Mississippi, a court has upheld a life sentence for a man who was convicted of weed possession. Man's name, Alan Russell, and his life sentence has been upheld by a Mississippi court in relation to a marijuana charge from 2017. What is going on? Police reportedly took 5 bags of marijuana from Russell when he was arrested. 5. And it was noted that 2 of the bags had 1.5 ounces of weed in them. According to the Associated Press, state law allows for a life sentence without parole if a person spent a year in prison on 2 separate felonies. So one of the offenses have to be a violent one in order for that law to be enacted. State law for marijuana notes that possession of weed between 1 ounce and 8.8 ounces only carries a sentence of up to 3 years, a $3,000 fine, or both. So despite this low-level, petty crime, Russell was previously convicted on 2 home burglary charges and reportedly spent 2 years in prison for unlawful possession of a firearm. Because of that, his life sentence was upheld. They're calling him a habitual offender. So he has habitual offender status related to the past incidents that he was arrested for. Mississippi. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, at The Diamond K Show, at Radio on Fire. Of course, I'll be back later on this evening for The Diamond K Show. A lot of music to talk about, a lot of entertainment things that we're going to get into tonight. RadioOnFire.com. As always, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. Advertise, engage, promote. Visit RadioOnFire.com/advertise.